Hello everyone. Today I'll do Unit 3 of the essay The Essentials of Education by Richard Livingstone. But where does one learn what is first rate? So we know that by now at least that we are going through the explanations presented by Livingstone regarding the essentials of education. And the first and the foremost thing that Livingstone put forward was that the aim of education should be to explain, to give what is first rate in everything. So, what we need to know is what is first rate. Now, Livingstone raises a question that from where does one learn what is first rate? How to learn? From where to learn what is first rate in anything? The only way to learn it is to meet it. So, until and unless we practically see something that is first rate or excellent in any subject, till then it is not possible for us to learn it in its real sense. A medical student will learn something from seeing a great surgeon in the operating theatre or a great doctor in the hospital wards, which all the textbooks in the world cannot tell him. So he says that if we take, for example, a medical student, if he wants to learn what is first rate in his field, then it will be possible for him to learn only when he sees a great surgeon in the operation theatre or a great doctor in the hospital wards, how they are working. Then only he will get to know what is first rate in the line of medical. Now, all the textbooks together cannot tell him what is first rate in medical science until and unless he sees everything practically in front of him. If anyone wishes to know how to teach, let him go and see a great teacher in the classroom. So, if anybody wants to know what is first rate in teaching, then let him go in some classroom and see a great teacher teaching there. If he wishes to know what good painting or good banking is, let him search out the best examples he can find in them. So, if one wants to know what good painting is, then he needs to meet a person who is a great painter and see him painting something really great. Or if he wants to know what is good banking, then he needs to see the working of a banker. In any field, the only way to learn what is first rate is to see it. So he says that whatever field we may talk about, in order to know and learn what is first rate in that field is to see it practically. And the same surely is true in life itself. And the same goes with life. If you want to know what is first rate in life, we need to see it. If we wish to know what the good life is, we must make the acquaintance and, if possible, keep the company of those who have known its meaning, and better still, of those who have lived it. So he says that if we want to know what good life is, then we need to come in acquaintance with such people who know the meaning of first rate in life or what is good life, and if possible, it would be better to be in the company of those people who have lived a good life, a first rate life. Now he puts another question, and that is, but who are they? So, who are these people who have led a good life or who know the meaning of good life and what is first rate in life? And where shall we meet them? And where can we meet such people? So, these are the two questions put forward by Livingstone. It is in order that we may meet them that what we call humanities come into the curriculum. So, for this sake, that we get to know the people who have led a good life, who knows or who have lived a life of excellence, a first-rate life, it is just for the sake of this knowledge that humanities have been added to the curriculum, to the syllabus. They are the subjects which deal with man. So, the subjects which are incorporated in humanities, these are the subjects that deal with man. But there are humanities and humanities. The word is vague, embracing many subjects like theology, philosophy, literature, history, anthropology, psychology, languages, politics, and social studies, even economics and geography. So there is a wide range of subjects which are encompassed by humanities. So the term humanities itself is considered to be vague by Livingstone. Why? Because there are numerous subjects which are included under the heading of humanities. Clearly, they differ widely and are only united in virtue of one element common to all of them. And which is that element? They are concerned with man. So he says that these subjects are widely different from each other, but there is only one element that bring them together under the common heading of humanities. And this one element is that these subjects, each of these subjects is concerned with man. But it is a formidable list. Formidable means it is a very terrifying list. Enough to burst any curriculum and to overwork any brain. So it's such an enormous list that it can burst the curriculum and it can even lead to the overworking of brain. We must choose among them and decide which of all this multitude is the most important for our purposes. So, what we need to do? We need to choose the subjects which we like, or the subjects in which we would like to know what is first rate or which we would like to study, and to decide which of all this multitude is the most important for our purpose and which are those subjects that will suffice our or fulfill our purpose or aim. All have their value for one purpose or another. So each subject has its own value. If, for instance, we are going to deal with primitive people means ancient people, we must have some familiarity with anthropology. So he says that in case we want to know about ancient people, our ancestors, the primitive people, then what we need to do, we need to have some kind of knowledge about anthropology. Then he says, if we are going into politics or business, we must have some knowledge of economics. So if we want to be a politician or a businessman, if we are going in the field of politics or business, then we must have some knowledge of economics too. All these subjects in one way or another throw a light on man and his goings on. So all these subjects somehow throw light on the life of man and his proceedings, the way he lives his life. The least human of the humanities at least glances at man. He says that the least common, even the subjects which can be termed as the least human subject, or the subject which deals in a minimum way with the life of man or with man, even that subject will glance at man to some extent. But we are looking not for the subjects which glance at man or throw sidelights on him, but for those which show him full face, or moreover show him at his best, so that we can know what he is at his best. So he says that what we are looking for, we are looking not for all the subjects, but we are looking for the subjects in particular which throw light on the life of man in totality. Okay, so that we can know how he is considered to be the best man, how he lives his life in the best way. And here such subjects as psychology or economics, anthropology, important as they are in other ways, give no real help. But he says that if we want to know man in totality, in his complete sense, in his complete form, then in that case psychology or economics and anthropology are not going to be of real help to us. In them we see only a fragment of ourselves, a part of human nature, and not the best or the most characteristic part. He says that if we deal with the subjects like psychology or economics or anthropology, in that case we are going to get only a faint idea of human nature, we are going to get the knowledge of only a fragment, an aspect of human nature and man, not about the best things in him or the best of human life or the most characteristic part of it. If we wish to see man full face, it is to religion, literature, and history that we must turn. So he says that in case we want to know man in his full form, in his full face, then in that case we need to switch to subjects like religion, literature, and history. It is only by studying the subjects like religion, literature, and history that we can get to know man in his complete form. So in this unit, unit 3, he has discussed about the aspect of education, that where we can learn the first rate, from where we can learn the first rate. And he says that the only way to learn what is first rate in any subject is to see it practically, to view certain things practically. It is only then that a person can get to know what is first rate in any subject, whether it is painting or music or medical science, whatsoever subject we are dealing with. If we want to know what is excellent, first rate in it, and whether, even if we talk about life, even in life, if we want to know what is best in it, then we need to view the life of best people. If we consider the subjects, then we need to see the best things in those subjects being practically executed before us. Then only we can get the knowledge of first rate in those subjects. And same goes with life. If in life we want to know what is first rate, we need to be in the company of such people who know the real meaning of good life, of the best life, and better to be in the company of those people who have led a good life or who are living a good life. Then only we can know the first rate in life. So that's all for the explanation of Unit 3. Thank you.